What up, hustlers? Welcome to Health Hustle Chronicles, where the grind meets growth in the world of healthcare. So today we're going to be talking about grinding in silence, how to move without the applause. Also, would be remiss if I didn't share with you. This is episode number one, numero uno for me. So I'm truly happy to be here. Definitely going to shake off some podcast rust, but more importantly, I just want to connect with you. Just make sure the lines are open, that you're able to drop some likes, some comments, but more importantly, get whatever's on your mind answered while we discuss this topic. Before we get too deep in this, some of the things you want to know we're going to discuss is understanding the downfall of external validation, the power of patience in the process of grinding, moving in silence, how to protect your vision, focusing on the process, not on the praise, mastering our masterpieces. You definitely want to stay tuned for that one. The noise will come when you're ready. Who knows when we're going to be ready for that, right? And then lastly, practical tips for grinding in silence. Before we get too deep in this, let me go and hit you with my intro. Welcome to Health Hustle Chronicles, where the grind meets growth in the world of healthcare. This ain't your typical podcast. I'm here to shine light on the talent that's out there hustling every day. Introduce you to coaches who can level up your game and break down exactly how you can climb the ladder in this industry. Whether you're just stepping in or already in the trenches, I'm going to give you the real deal on how to elevate beyond the road and claim what's yours. I'm talking about unlocking opportunities that seem hidden, finding leadership when it feels like no one's got your back, and building a roadmap to success even when the path ain't clear. From time management to battling self-doubt, lack of mentorship, to the struggle of getting noticed. I get it. I've been there. And I'm going to bring you that hustle mindset with every episode so you can take that next step towards career growth and wealth. If you're ready to go beyond surviving and start thriving in healthcare, then this podcast is for you. It's time to hustle harder, grow smarter, and elevate together. Let's get it, hustlers. All right, so let's get it, hustlers. Once again, we're talking about today's topic is going to be grinding in silence, how to move without the applause. So let's get into it. The first thing right off the top, the downfall of external validation. First, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've never been one of those people that chased external validations, whether that's the applause, the likes, the comments, just kind of that reaffirmation that you're kind of on that right path, right? I mean, we kind of all want that. Many of us do. I mean, there's a special person that can out there grind truly in silence and don't share anything, and then is able to be truly successful in what they're doing. So listen, I'm not going to fault you for doing that, but we need to really dig into this. How chasing applause and then, those validation from other people, I can slow you down. And here's like the number one thing is I was going to slow you down. Because listen, if you got a vision, right, and you got something that you're focused on, then you should be 100% focused on that. But what happens is the minute you start getting those likes, those comments, it takes your focus away from the hustle. It takes your focus away from that grind. And what was that grind? It was whatever your vision is, whatever that outcome that you're trying to achieve. And the minute you get stuck into identifying and finding solace and, validation within those likes or whatnot, you start creating content or doing things focus on getting that same type of validation, and then your vision, it actually becomes second nature. So you're not even focusing on your vision anymore. Now you start focusing on that validation and those likes and things like that. So that's one of the things you definitely want to watch out for. The other thing too is external validation. It can take you on this emotional roller coaster. I mean, real talk, because it could be, here it is, Sunday, you get all these likes and comments on a post or something that you did, right? And you get that recognition and it feels so good. But come Tuesday, you drop something different, or you're doing something different. You're moving some way different. And no one is acting like the world is acting like you don't even exist that day, right? And so that takes you on this emotional roller coaster where I was here, but now I'm here only because I was seeking that validation as opposed to really staying locked into whatever my vision was for whatever myself was that I'm trying to accomplish. So you want to look out for that. The other thing too is the importance of recognizing that people, listen, not everybody's going to see your vision, and that's okay. Raise your hand. Just raise your hand and drop some comments. Let me know if you've ever thought of something that you wanted to accomplish, something that you wanted to do, and it was important to you, right? It was really, really important to you. But what happened was you shared it with somebody. I mean, again, drop some comments. Let me know if this happened to you. You shared it with somebody, and the feedback that you got from that person that you shared it with was less than what you thought it was going to be. Meaning, you thought that, okay, I got this awesome plan with you, Patrick, and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to jump out of my computer and be like, dude, that's absolutely amazing. Most people are not like that because guess what? It's your vision. And in your vision, you oftentimes have some time to think through how you're going to process your vision. And sometimes you don't know how the ending is going to happen, right? But you know it's your vision. And you've probably put some steps in place. You can like, man, if I do this, this can be an outcome. If I do this, this can be an outcome. If I do this, this can be an outcome. But the minute you share your vision with someone else who hasn't had that time to process and think through exactly what you're trying to accomplish, in most cases, they have questions and they may have a lot of them. And sometimes they may have doubt for you. And they may have doubt for you, one, because they're fearful of you being less successful or, failing. Two is because they don't even really know what the hell you're talking about. It sounds cool on the surface, but underneath, they don't even know how that outcome is actually going to come to fruition, right? So those are things you definitely want to watch out for, especially if you're chasing. We're talking about grinding in silence, right? And if you're actually being verbal with this and you start listening to people and their feedback, and this could take you so far low that you don't even you stop hustling. You forget what you was hustling for. So that's something you definitely want to stay focused on when you're out there hustling on your grind. You definitely want to have your vision board. You definitely want to jot things down, because what happens when you start jotting things down, when you start writing it down, your vision becomes clear. Now your mind starts clicking and it starts telling you that, listen, Patrick, you wrote down, you know what, I want this F250 in the next 2 years. Now your mind is going to say, you know what, that's a good goal. So let's figure out how we're going to get to it. And you're going to start provide extra energy so you can focus on getting that goal. And I'm just using F250. That's a material thing. A lot of us out there, we're hustling for different things, meaning I'm trying to get employment. I'm trying to get promotions. I'm trying to create a business, whatever that happens to be for you. Definitely stay focused on that. So you want to watch out how much information that you're sharing. And then a big one here is there's power in the process. Many of us, listen, we're out here grinding and we're thinking that just because I want something that I want to do for myself, that this is going to happen overnight. Newsflash, I don't know how many of us have been successful overnight. And in most cases, it's generally going to take us not only weeks, not only months, but in most cases, it's going to take you years. So you want to get used to loving the process, like real talk. I mean, if we're hustling, you have to love the process. If you don't love the process, then you probably don't love the hustle. And if you don't love the hustle, then it's probably a good reason, or it's probably going to be a good indicator whether or not you're going to have that it factor as to whether or not you make it within that hustle. And you probably have to find something else. So especially in hustle, it's definitely a long game. It requires showing up daily. It's a grind. And oftentimes, guess what? No one's going to notice your hustle. And that's okay. We kind of talked about this earlier. That's when you're truly grinding in silence, when you're not getting that validation, when no one's truly noticing what you're doing out there. You're one-on-one with yourself in your hustle, right? And then nobody knows what you're doing. And so this is where you have to be extremely focused. It's kind of like online learning. Some of us, we could go to a traditional college. We can do our 4 years. We're going to get our degree. And others, we're so like, man, I can't sit in a classroom for 4 years because that just feels like it's wasting time. However, you give me a computer and a laptop or a tablet, I can do those studies online, right? So it's a different type of grind. The outcome is the same, but the grind is different. So get locked in on whatever that process is. Get locked in on understanding that there's going to be a process behind this. And once you get locked in on that, man, it's going to make that process so much easier. Another thing we want to talk about is this concept of delayed gratification. And really investing time and energy into now, and understanding there's not going to be any immediate rewards. You can't hustle for today and expect a different outcome tomorrow. You have to hustle for tomorrow with the focus on what can I do today. All right. And some of you guys are going to get this later, and you may not ever get it. But if you're a true hustler, you understand what I'm talking about. So there's going to be some of that delayed gratification. Oftentimes, you're not going to get those shiny flowers. You're not going to get those celebration memes from other people because they don't know what the hell you're doing. Honestly, you probably don't even know what the hell you're doing at this point. Other things too is, man, I'm kind of vibing on this music that I selected right here. This is water, so I can do that. Hey, lasting success though is built quietly over time, and it's not in quick bursts. You need to understand that. So as we move on to, you want to protect your vision. I briefly touched on this before. I remember that kind of when I was transitioning out of being a healthcare executive and started my entrepreneur journey. I actually had that inkling probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before. I actually just kind of took the leap of faith and just bet on myself 100%, right? And we're talking about grinding in silence, seeking that external validation, whether or not we can move without applause. I shared, my insight with a couple of people. First you start at home, you start, with your family members. I bounce some ideas off my wife, bounce some ideas off my kids, and kind of like what I shared with you before is they believed in me, but they didn't understand what my vision was for myself. So whereas they're trying to support me, they still had questions. And oftentimes when they have those questions, because my vision is so new or my hustle is so new to me, that I don't have all the answers for those questions. But what I did know is I had commitment. I had my vision. But you can't share your vision with so many people, because what happens is, because of what I just shared with you, nobody knows what the hell this vision is. No one has put all this thought into planning out your vision like you are. People are going to doubt whether or not you can even see through what you've talked about that you wanted to accomplish. People are going to doubt your commitment to that outcome you're trying to achieve. People are probably going to doubt whether or not that you even have the energy to do this, because have they seen you do it before? Have you done it before? I don't know. Have you shared with somebody before that, hey, this is what I wanted to do, and you've actually been successful in doing that? And if your answer is no, then that's probably a good indicator that you probably want to keep your vision close to your chest. Like, real talk. Because that right there, you're going to have some criticism. It may expose you to envy, negative energy. And that's a big thing, because I'm an energy person, and you probably guys are probably energy people too. But imagine being exposed to negative energy when you're just trying to share with somebody, hey, what hustle that you're on, and they don't understand it. That could just set you back, right? So one of the things I want to encourage you doing is keeping your plans close to your chest, because everyone doesn't need to know your next step. Especially if you're hustling on a side gig, like you're working full time and you got this side thing going on. Nobody want to know that you got this extracurricular thing going on, because now they feel like you're not committed to why they even hired you. Or if it's a friend, now they're committed, like this is going to take away from the relationship that they have with you, because now you're going to be focused on other things, right? Or even your kids going to be like, well, where's my time, mom, dad, things like that. So it's so important to protect your vision until you understand those next steps. Um, big one here. Focus on the process and not the praise. We talked about this before, how this is a long game. Hustling, hustling is an everyday thing. Grinding is an everyday thing. Working towards fulfilling your vision is an everyday thing. I don't know how many people can actually say, okay, I had this vision and I've actually completed it. And I'm totally done. And then I moved on to something else. Many of us, we struggle in the fact that we're visionary people, or like I like to say, we're dreamers, right? We have these big dreams that we want to accomplish this, we want to accomplish that, we want to accomplish that. But how many times have you actually finished it? Hmm? So if you haven't finished anything and you're expecting people to praise you for something that you haven't completed yet, newsflash, probably not going to happen to you, right? Real talk. Um, so something you probably want to do instead of um, something you probably want to do is just have that right mindset. that understanding that hustling is a journey and it's not a destination. And once you get that mindset in place, it's going to help you with providing you energy. It's going to help you with some clarity. It's going to help you with explaining what your vision is to other people. It's going to help you with getting buy-in from other people who want to support you and help you complete or fulfill your vision. I would encourage you to, when you're out here hustling on a daily basis, you I'm going to stress this. You have to celebrate your small wins, those personal milestones, rather than waiting for someone to recognize a specific achievement. Because the hustle game is long lasting. Remember, I talked about before, this is a process. This can last quite some time. And if you're out there hustling, you want to provide yourself with energy to keep the hustle going. And the way you do that is you want to celebrate those milestones. It can be the smallest thing. Listen, I created a LinkedIn video today and posted it. Let's celebrate whatever celebration looks like to you. Hey, I sent a follow-up email to a connection that I just met at a conference today. Let's celebrate. Why? Because these are steps that you're doing to take to get you to the next level. Hey, I interviewed for a job today. Let's celebrate. Hey, I retweaked my resume. Let's celebrate. Hey, I had an initial phone call today for screening. I felt like I did well. Let's celebrate. Hey, listen, I'm on the second step or the second interview for a job. Let's celebrate. Hey, listen, I finally got funding for my job, or I finally got a bank to lend me some money. Let's celebrate. Do not. If you're grinding in silence, that grind can feel like it's just you and it's you alone. And if you're not taking the time to celebrate your personal wins, those small milestones, then you may get caught in that trap to where your energy begins to get low. And then you start focusing on a lot of that validation and applause from other people. And then you don't get it. Your vision changes. You start focusing on that energy right there. And that doesn't lead you anywhere soon. So I want to suggest really creating a system of rewards, ways to acknowledge yourself. You know, it can be taking yourself out to dinner and getting some, maybe you generally get, a less expensive pizza. And today I'm going to get a higher brand pizza, or, I like to sip on, some wine, and I generally go here and now I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to get a bigger bottle of wine, whatever that your celebration looks like for you, but definitely take some time to do that. And then as we transition to that next topic, this one right here, this is mastery over masterpieces. And I actually titled this one this way because it's reinforcing the idea that the greatest hustlers out there, they're more focused on mastering their craft than creating a single masterpiece. I'm going to say that again. There's an idea that the greatest hustlers are more focused on mastering their craft than creating a single masterpiece. I want to let that sink in for a minute. If you're focused on mastering your craft, then that means all the little steps that goes in between it that need to be done, you're in tune into really understanding not only do they need to be done, but they need to be provided with tons of energy and action so you can see it through. A lot of us, we get caught into trying to do one single thing right. And that's cool. But if we're hustling, we're trying to do it all right? We really are. We're trying to do it all right. But if it doesn't happen overnight, celebrate your small wins, but see the bigger picture. I can't just do one thing right. I have to do multiple little small things right. And once all those small little things become right, it adds up to my bigger picture. It adds up to me completing my vision. And then let me see what else we got on here. Oh, I want to suggest you guys tap in with me. I got my little streaming at the bottom. You can follow me at That Healthcare Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. You can also tap in and get some of my merch. This happens to be one of my creations right here, Hustle Can Change Your Life. Folks, brought to you by PDP Media, where I kind of tell the stories of hustlers out there to help you level up and scale and elevate your career. So you want to tap in on that as well. So the day-to-day grind, expertise, resilience, and character. So that's true story. That hustle, man, once you've had a couple of setbacks, once you understand that this is going to be a little bit tougher than what you probably envisioned that it was going to be, Those situations is what create resiliency. And that resiliency is just toughening up your skin to be able to bounce back, toughening up your mental to be able to bounce back and understand that this is going to be a little bit more tougher than I thought. However, if I'm more strategic, however, if I'm building plans, however, if I'm starting to network right, however, if I'm starting to place myself in positions where other people that think like me are, then that's going to help ease the hustle as well. So that masterpiece is going to be a lot easier to fulfill. Oh, good one here. Yeah, I wrote this one down. You want to be a student of your own journey. And what that means is a lifelong learner. Being a lifelong learner doesn't mean that, hey, I'm enrolling into this 4 year college, or I'm trying to get my graduate's degree, or I'm trying to get my doctor's degree, or you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to go to school forever. That just means that means understanding the situation you're in, understanding where your challenges are, understanding where you've had failures, and then taking the time to learn how to overcome and work past those situations. Let's say you're grinding out here, and I'm an executive director at a corporation, but I want to be a vice president. Well, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to first find out what are the qualifications to become a vice president. Uh, Two is, if I have those qualifications already, what kind of networking can I do right now that's going to help me position to create other opportunities where I can interview for those positions? Because here's the thing, you may want to be a VP, but you've been an ED, executive director, all this time, but you've never interviewed for a VP job before, right? And that skill set, those questions that the recruiters are asking for, and this is not on topic, we're still talking about grinding, right? We're talking all about vision. But those questions they ask for is probably different than what you've been asked before. The other thing too is, have you ever practiced an interview for a corporate or executive job before? I mean, and maybe you're not there yet, but it could be whether you're going from a server to a cook, from wait staff to a freaking culinary chef, whatever your mastery is, whatever you're trying to get to. You need to take the time to understand whatever that next level of success looks like. What are the requirements to get there? Who do I need to network? And how am I going to achieve it? Whether that's me doing some continuous learning through coursework, whether that's me actually taking some additional steps and I'm actually going to college, or whether that's me networking with someone and I'm getting a coach and they're breaking down the game for me to help me understand how to move. So you definitely want to master that things as well. Here's a big one here. Listen, the noise will come when it's ready. And what I mean by that, I want to reassure you that recognition, that's going to come, but it's only going to come after you've built something worthy of it. I'm going to say that again. That recognition that you've been seeking, you'll get it, but it's only going to happen after again, you built something that's worthy. Generally speaking, what's going to happen, let's say you're a content creator, you have to create a lot of different additional content before people really notice your value in the content making space. Because there's a lot of people creating content out there, right? Then it's got to be something of value to other people where they're going to glean from it. They're going to learn from you as well. There's a lot of people out there creating fantastic content, but you got to get through some of that fear, some of those nerves, things like that. So baby step, we start posting today, we post, a week from now, and then I continue to post in a month. Now I've got 15, 18, 20 pieces of content that I posted. But more importantly, what you're going to get from that, you're going to start learning what content resonates, how to create content, how to share your message with other people, and then how to respond to people when they reply back to you. So yeah, the noise is going to come, but it's going to come when you build something worthy. All right. What are something? Let me see. The reels will be there. Yeah, I already touched on that. Okay, yeah. We want to talk about this right here, patience. I want to remind you, the most authentic and the most impactful noise, it comes after you've had consistent hustle. So be authentically you. Be consistently a better version of yourself. Continue to focus on what that hustle and that vision you have for yourself. Continue to focus on networking opportunities, putting yourself in positions. Continue to understand what's required or what's the requirements to actually help you elevate and get to the next level. And then from a monetary standpoint, maybe this is going to be money. Maybe you need an investor. Maybe you need to take on student loans. Maybe you're going to need to borrow money to take a course. Those are investments in yourself. And other people have to know that if they invest in you, that you actually have a plan to return on their investment. So that's going to be important. So, and then I'm going to leave you with this. I want you guys to stay positive out there. Um, and remember, nobody knows you better than you. And as we continue to, talk about this topic, which is grinding in silence and how to move without the applause, um, keep your vision close to your chest until you really understand all the measures, all the levers that you need to pull, all the network and all the steps that need to happen for when people do ask you how you want to accomplish things or what your vision, you not only know what your vision is, but you can explain your vision in detail, and then you can tell people the steps that you're trying to take to get there. However, even if you decide to share with people, don't give a whole lot of credence and validation to what they're telling you. Yes, you want to take some of that, a little bit of that energy to keep you motivated, keep you propelled, keep you moving forward. But if you don't hear what you want to hear, it's okay. It really is okay. So I'll leave you with that. So today's topic, so here, let me move this screen. I have some questions for you, hustlers, and I want to leave you with these. Let me see if I could pull up this other screen and share. Welcome to Health Hustle Chronicles. Yeah, we don't want to share that one right there. Pull up these questions. Let's see. How about these right here? Okay, we'll share these with you. All right, questions I got for you. They'll be popping up on screen here in just a second. I thought I selected it. Here we go. I'm sharing it with you now. I guess for whatever reason it doesn't want to share my screen. Okay. I think I'm gonna get it. Y'all bear with me. Okay. Anyway, it's not pulling up for me right now for whatever reason. So here are the questions. Here's what I want to hit you with. How much of your grind is fueled by other people recognizing your efforts? And how much is fueled by your personal goals? Take some time to think about that. I definitely want you to tap in, drop some comments with me as I round back to this topic and help you explore this more. 2, how do you find it? Do you find it harder to stay motivated when no one's paying attention to your progress? Why or why not? Asking you these questions to help you understand your level of commitment to the hustle, because that hustle takes tons of commitment. And here's some of the questions you probably want to ask yourself. Another question: when was the last time you made a major move in silence? Like you made that move in silence. How did it feel to keep it to yourself until you were ready to share? Have you ever done that? How many people have actually made a major move completely in silence? Like you didn't share that with anybody. I would imagine that number is pretty small. But if you did this, even if you didn't, tap in, let me know. And then the other thing I have for you here is, what steps can you take to refocus on the process rather than waiting on applause? Questions you want to ask yourself. Last one I ask you here: what's one thing that you're working on right now that no one knows about? All right, no one knows about. How do you keep it to yourself to stay motivated without that validation? Tap in. You guys let me know. So I'm going to leave you with this right here as we wrap this up. So today, that wraps up this episode of Health Hustle Chronicles, where, I don't just talk about the grind, truly live it. And if you're ready to take your career to that next level, now it's time to put in the work. Remember, elevation, it doesn't come easy. It's all about staying hungry, staying focused, and hustling smarter. The knowledge is here. The tools, they're yours. Now it's time to make the moves. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't miss the next drop. And if today's episode hit home, make sure you share it with somebody else that's on that hustle and that grind. Together, we will rise. Until next time, stay hustling, stay learning, and remember, your next level is probably just one hustle away. Till next time, hustlers.